Hello and welcome to the SCL Syndicate Competitive League team interviews. I am Arydanika and I am here with ElDiablo DelRojo, team captain of the Exodunks. Hello, ElDiablo. Welcome
Hi.
to the interview. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me today. And please tell our listeners a little bit about the Exodunks.
Sure. So the Exodunks are comprised of a group of friends from the Exodus Alliance and several friends of ours from a corp we're friends with, Mafia Rita.
Where did the idea to do the team come from? Was it just an off-the-cuff, hey, let's get together and do this tournament, or are you guys like really into the competition of EVE Online?
A little bit of both. Exodus took part in our first tournament in AT10. The Alliance was formed about 2 years ago. Most of the core of us have been flying together kind of since then, and although we've been growing somewhat recently. We really enjoyed AT10. In fact, we had a fantastic time in it, and we're certainly interested in doing more tournaments. The Neo timing was kind of rough because it was over Thanksgiving, and we're primarily a U.S. time zone alliance, although now we have some friends in our German time zone. But we couldn't do the Neo tournament, but when this one came along, we were pretty interested in it, and ended up putting a team together and giving it a shot.
This really, for your group, is your second tournament. How many of your pilots who are flying with you are returning pilots from that original team?
Only about half, actually. About half the pilots who are flying with us flew in AT10. About half the pilots are actually new to tournaments completely. So we're a relatively inexperienced group still.
Now, as an inexperienced group, since your experience doesn't come from tournaments, where does your collective experience come from?
We tend to PvP a lot on TQ. We tend to roam around EVE quite a bit in relatively small gangs. We actually fly in typically, 6 to 8 to 10 or 12-man gangs with at most, one logistic or kind of ship like that, and roam around and just have fights wherever we can find them. So we actually have a reasonable amount of experience from sort of how we fly and what we do on Tranquility. That kind of translates at least somewhat well to the tournament, although obviously tournament competition in terms of the ship types and the various meta and planning is quite different. The core skills in terms of piloting your own ship and flying around and working as a team are something that we do a fair amount of, kind of daily.
Well, that's great. It's always good to see new blood out on the field. Now, as fairly newcomers to the tournament scene, how do you feel about being part of the inaugural SCL tournament?
Oh, we're thrilled. We've been friends with various folks in Rote, Brent, and Andradius, and those guys have put on an incredible amount of work into this tournament, and we're thrilled to take part in the inaugural version and hope that there's many more in the future.
What makes the Exodunks the team to watch and the team to beat?
Well, I don't know about that. We like to try out different fleet comps and have a good time doing it. We'll see how things go. We our first shot in AT10 went far better than we ever expected it to. So we're pretty excited this time. I don't know that we're the team to beat. We'll see where things end up, but it should be a lot of fun.
Well, that's good to hear, and fun and competition are what it's really about. With your game plan and keeping on your toes as the new kids on the block, there have been some changes. Retribution 1.1 patch has kind of changed up how some of the ships work, and also the SCL has introduced new point values. How has this affected your game plan?
It's been really interesting sort of learning the new impacts on the tournament. I mean, obviously a reasonable number of the fleet comps may still be somewhat similar, but in particular the changes to battlecruisers certainly have a lot of potential to shake things up. The T1 logistics cruisers are now a very interesting and viable alternative to the traditional T2 lodges. Obviously the different point values for that, and as well as the sort of 70.8 pilot cap present in the SCL tournament are actually reasonably different and have sort of shaken things up quite a bit. And with the SCL, with the banning system in place, we didn't actually, as I said, take part in the Neo, so this is the first time we've actually really competed with banning. That's been a very interesting dynamic to add. And then when you add in the fact that you're facing sort of best of 3 matches where you're going to see the same guys 2 or 3 times in a row, where you can actually start to plan one match to another and kind of anticipate what they can do. It's a pretty different change, but it's certainly very interesting.
Hopefully that translates into some exciting action out on the field. Now, looking at your competitors, who do you think is going to be your stiffest competition?
Well, I think most of the teams in the tournament are actually quite good. We certainly recognize a number of the folks we've seen before. In particular, of course, Hydra's always particularly strong. Duncan and Garmin and folks are excellent PvPers. But a lot of the teams in the tournament are all quite good. We're looking forward to giving it a shot.
It always surprises me. You teamed captains, you're so gentlemanly. You really are, and it's good. It brings a great sense of community to the tournament scene. Now, we're closing out the interview. Are there any parting words you'd like to deliver to your rivals or to your adoring fans?
Sure. I mean, we hope everybody really enjoys the tournament. I know a lot of folks have put a lot of time and effort into making it happen, and we're thrilled to take part. For us, EVE is a video game that we really just enjoy playing for fun. We look at the tournament very much the same way. It's an opportunity to go out, have a really good time over a weekend, PvPing kind of nonstop. So we're hoping that fans enjoy the show, and some of our rivals have a good time shooting at us and having us shoot at them.
Cheers to you, sir. Thank you so much, ElDiablo, for joining me for the interview. And of course, good luck out on the field.
Thanks so much.